this is awkward as shit. But my camera has been ordered, and I'm gonna try to start doing these videos semi-regularly. Fuck, I gotta really try not to bite my lip. I've got retainers in right now because I'm going to my first day of work at my new job today, and I'm not allowed to have piercings. And by the way, doing this is really uncomfortable for me, so you're gonna have to forgive me. I'm probably almost never gonna look at the camera. I'm gonna work on that, but right now, this is the best I can do. I don't like recordings of myself, generally speaking. I don't like how my voice sounds on recordings. I don't like how my face looks on recordings, but I'm starting tea soon, and I really want to have some documentation of that and of changes. And I think it would be good for me to just kind of actually talk about things and, have that out there, especially since, a lot of the videos I've been watching have helped me a lot over the past several years. And one of the things that I've noticed too is that a lot of the guys who, post these videos and stuff, they all, at least all the ones that I've found, started transitioning when they were, like fucking 16, 17, 18, 19. And there's sort of a dearth of like guys who are transitioning, um, you know, mid to late 20s and older, and I know that they exist. I've seen them on boards, especially like the much older guys who are transitioning in their 40s, 50s, and up, stuff like that. Um, there were some in my support group when I went back in Florida, and I see them online, but you don't really see many people talking about it, much less like doing videos, and maybe that's just a generational thing. But I know that a lot of guys, especially like a lot of younger guys who are in situations where, because of a lack of family support or a lack of financial capacity or, whatever else, they aren't comfortable coming out, or they can't come out, or they have come out to some people but not their family, or they just, for whatever reason, they can't transition, and they're scared that if they wait too long, it's gonna be too late. And this is me, like, so my alarm went off, and that fucked up the video, because I need to start getting ready for work soon. But, fuck, I lost my train of thought. So basically, like, a lot of guys who are younger and, feel like if they wait too long, it's gonna be too late, and it's a really scary, hopeless kind of feeling, and that sucks, and there's also a lot of uncertainty, and being unsure and feeling invalid because you're unsure, and so I know there's a lot of videos out there, and there's a lot of blogs, and everyone has something to say, and I don't want to imply that, like, I've got some hot, fresh, new take or anything, but I know that videos have helped me, and I hope that by documenting this stuff and trying to be a little bit more open about it, I might be able to help some other people who are in, have been in similar situations as me, or might end up that way. So, because they're younger now, but they know that they won't be able to do anything for several years yet. So, I'm 26 now. I just turned 26 in November, Today is December something. Fuck, I don't know. I'll have to check my calendar later. It's like the second week of December or something. So, and I figured out that I wasn't cis, like, God, probably when I was like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Definitely by the time I was 15, 16. So that's 10 years ago now, you know. But I didn't fit into the standard, like, trans allegory. No, what's it called? Narrative. You know, it's and and there's a lot of reasons for that I've spent a lot of time thinking about, but I'll get into that at a different time. But so, you know, that was like 10 years ago now, and I didn't really figure out that I was like a trans guy until my second, third year of college. The first time around, that's another story for another time, and that was in like 2013, 2012, you know? And I still couldn't really do anything directly. Whoops. Oh, hey. Sterling's back. About it for another, like, Jesus, like 2, 3, 4 years or so. You know, I didn't come out to my parents until I want to say it was January of 2015 or 16. I'd have to check, you know. And before that, I was still really struggling with coming to terms with it and what it meant and whether I was ready for that and everything that comes with it, and being really scared. And so, you know, that's and at that point I was already, you know, 22, 23, going on 24, and now I'm 26, and I am going in for my intake appointment for blood tests on December 28th for HRT. Finally. And it's something that I've wanted for a really long time. You know, there was a while that I was waffling on it because there were things that scared me about it, and there were things I wasn't sure about. And there were some, you know, personal hang-ups that I had to work through. But even with those hang-ups, I still wanted it, but I waited. And part of waiting was being scared, and part of waiting was not having been out to my parents yet, and part of waiting was not wanting to take that step without knowing that I would have ongoing financial security to be able to support myself in that way. And a lot of waiting was it was really just being scared about a lot of different things in the end. Like that's all of the, you know, the financial and the parents and everything. It just boils down to different shades of fear. But after a certain point, especially after seeing a lot of my younger friends, you know, they come out, they figure themselves out, as if it's that easy, but they you know, they quote unquote figure it out, and then within months they're starting T, and within months they're getting top surgery scheduled, and watching that happen and feeling like, God, you know, I've been on this journey or whatever for so long now, and sometimes it feels like I haven't made any progress. And just watching these other people sort of speed through it, I mean, I know it's not easy for them or anything, but it's sort of like, God, what am I waiting for? And it's a risk, and it's not going to be easy, but I am tired of putting my life on hold. So I'm taking the leap, taking the risk, and I'll just pick up the pieces where they fall out and roll with the punches, like I always do. And I'm gonna figure it out because I know this is the right choice, even if it's scary as shit. Uh, I know it's the right choice for me, and I know it's at a certain point you gotta ask yourself, how long are you willing to let fear stop you from doing what you need to do? How long are you gonna let that hold you back? You know, and I've always sort of had this attitude of, the more something scares me, the more I should probably do it. Um, and I I can be very slow to act sometimes, especially about things that have potential much larger consequences. But at this point, I've waited long enough, and I'm sure now, you know, and I need to start moving forward. So that's what I'm gonna do, for better or for worse.